For me, I can say Bhagavad Gita. We can implement everything in our business.
It doesn't change for me. I mean, I think the greatest holy book and the greatest management book ever written in the world has been Bhagavad Gita. It's what you learn and how you implement is where the knowledge is. And I think it's a learning experience for everybody every day.
Could not agree more. All right. One AI tool you use in your daily life, Ritesh, how about we begin from you?
So we are all bombarded with AIs today. So
Yes.
whether it's Perplexity, ChatGPT, I think it's more about the integration and the prompts that you're going to use with the AI. That's important rather than just the AI, because in spite of all the AI things being driven around in the world, what's still important is the human touch. And that's what I think is more important than just the AI.
I'm going to push you further though. If you had to pick one, which one would you pick?
So it depends. I mean, I use various. Perplexity is for a different purpose. ChatGPT, Copilot, that's for a different purpose. It's all about how you are using it. Both perform really well.
Fair enough.
I think ChatGPT is better. I use lot of, and I think ChatGPT become our personal secretary.
Fair enough.
I would second Ritesh on that. It depends on what exactly you want at that point of time, and there are so many options you can choose the best one. By the way, does LinkedIn come under the AI tool?
Yeah.
As of
Definitely does.
Then I would go for LinkedIn.
Can I choose a favorite answer? All right. If your teams had to describe you in 3 words, what would those be?
I'm agile, available, and optimistic.
All right.
Passionate, reliable, and I think I try for as a big brother.
All right.
Available, supportive, and decisive.
Perfect. Nobody's got anything else then. I think, do we have the teams here? Would you all agree? All right. Let's get into it. I have a bunch of questions for you all, and once I'm done asking my questions, we will open it up for the floor, and all of you can ask your questions. We have the panel here. We have Anup, Vinay, Chakra here as well to answer questions. We do have our managers here as well. We have Mahesh, we have Jyoti. So fire away as soon as we're done with the fireside. But for now, I want to hear from you a little bit more about the industry that we're all part of. The staffing industry in particular, it's always been about balancing client needs, candidate behavior, and technology. And right now, we're seeing those 3 forces shift faster than ever. What, according to you, are the biggest challenges and opportunities that the industry faces? And each of you can give your own perspective based on the industries that you're part of.
I think every company want candidate on join on yesterday. So we have limited time, we have limited budget, and we need to do in better manner with LinkedIn and with AI support.
So I take part of the Japan and the APAC operations, with Japan being the major part. So if you ask me the challenges and the opportunities that lie in Japan, so Japan typically has a low birth rate and an aging population. In India, we talk about 24, 25, 27 as being the age, whereas if I look at from a Japan perspective, I'm very young. At 49.5, that's the median age in Japan. So upskilling, reskilling, post-COVID, one of the things that I started is, asking native bilingual young Japanese, finding that is really tough. And those who are there in the market, they have multiple opportunities. So how fast you can tap them, sell them the company that you're talking, you're fitting them to, and at the same time make sure that they get their flexibility in terms of work-life balance, other opportunities, because that's something key which most of the youngsters today want, and that's a worldwide phenomenon. So balancing that's the major area.
Fair enough. Sandeep?
Yeah, I would second Ritesh on that. I mean, today one of the challenges that everyone here faces is more dropouts ratio, right? So what's the reason? Why are we having so many dropout ratios? So candidates are not only going for brands. Brands know or attract them. To some extent, even the packages don't attract them. So they are more keen towards are my values in align with the company that I'm looking forward to, you know. What kind of flexibility is this company offering, you know, be it work from home or, you know, other sorts of options. So these are the new trends, you know, that we are seeing. And I think that's where the deciding factor is, when we as consultants, you know, go back to the clients and tell them that, hey, you know what, this is what is going on in the market. So I would suggest you should be a little more flexible. That's when, you know, we transform from a consultant to a hiring partner.
Absolutely.
That's when the partnership comes into picture.
Absolutely. So we've heard a couple themes here. We've heard about how you're expected to do more with less. We've heard about evolving candidate requirements as well, not just client requirements. What are the opportunities you see among the challenges that you see around you? And how are you addressing those or solving for those at the moment?
So every challenge has its own set of opportunities. The opportunities are, this is with all the companies and the candidates. As I said, how fast are you going to tap the tongue, which is the bilingual native Japanese, or how are you evolving in terms of getting foreigners based in Japan, or other companies, you know, open to get candidates from abroad? How are you managing that? That's the opportunity. Upskilling, reskilling, giving them for something like Japan, you know, which is a very cultural specific nation. How do you give, scenarios like parenting leaves? Now that's something very unheard of in India, or some other parts of the world. But in Japan, that's very, very important. Many of the times people prefer they stick with one job. They prefer remote. So how can you convince both the client and the candidate to come a mid path where they can have hire a hybrid scenario, or look for specific options only with the remote? How do you balance it, and how fast you turn that around? That is the key for our success in Japan. That's how, you know, Fiddle has been operating, and we have been successful all the years that we have been there.
आई थिंक सर ने थोड़ी देर पहले कहा था कि in Pune there is near about 300 plus GCC come up, and that GCC create near about 45,000 jobs in Pune. So we have a lot of opportunity. We need to tackle them. We need to present them as a business partner. So with LinkedIn support as a talent insights, so we can take industries past and recent जो भी है past and recent का जो भी trend है वो सब कुछ हम लोग देख सकते हैं, और we can present them कि ये for example Java technologies में आपके पास इतने सारे candidates available है for this location, and we can take a drive on for example Indore location. So हम लोग उस टाइप में सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं, और वी कैन मीन्स बस कंसल्टेंट ना रह के एज अ बिजनेस पार्टनर हम उनको प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं खुद के लिए.
Yeah, I would second him on that, you know. All of us are, you know, consultants. All of us kind of face the same challenge, you know. There is an opening that a client opens to 10 consultants at a time, right? What is that makes you different from the other consultants? We all jump to the same pool. We all jump to the same job portals, you know, same kind of candidate. Same candidate is getting a call from 10 different consultants for the same position. So how do you separate yourself from the other consultants? That is a deciding factor. It is a challenge as well. It shows you an opportunity also. So the challenge, 10 people calling the same candidate for the same opportunity. The opportunity here is that we have a 100 plus team here in Pune. Our core concept is to train each recruiter to give a candidate experience. So, you know, candidate experience is what matters now. You know, so how you keep the candidate engaged, because he's getting 10 calls. Why and how should he remember your name? So that's the deciding factor. You know, once you get a knack of that, okay, this is how I'll make my candidate experience better. The candidate starts responding to you in a better way. So that's the opportunity here. And I think with all the kind of talent insights that LinkedIn is providing, that also helps you give a personal connect to the candidate.
Candidates and
Absolutely.
industries.
Perfect. I do want to ask you all a little bit more about talent insights, but I'll get to that in a bit. Staying with the industry trends that we're covering right now, you all spoke about the need for agility, the need to adapt to client needs, the need to solve for evolving candidate needs. Now, AI, as we know it, the conversations around AI especially have permeated pretty much every industry that we can see, right, as far as the eye can go. How has that changed the conversations or the quality of conversations you're having with your clients? If you look back to even say a year and a half, 2 years back to now, how have those conversations evolved?
I mean, as we were just discussing, right, how the data insights help us.
Yes.
So, like I previously said, it's more about being a partner to your client rather just being a consultant or another vendor, right? With these data insights, what we get, we are in a very strong position and confident to explain how ma'am also said, right, that how we go to the client, and tell him, okay, this is what we would suggest would make this job right.
Right.
Right. And these data insights are very helpful, which of course are through AI, right? So these are very helpful for us to present our case to the client, because 1.5 years back, or when I started maybe 2008, the client's tendency has been the same. That hasn't changed. What has changed is the way we approach our clients with the help of the data that's being provided to us by various sources, including LinkedIn on the top of the list. So yes, that's how it helps us. It gives us more confidence. It puts us in a position where we are able to justify, okay, this is why we would suggest you to do this. So yeah, that's it.
Fair enough.
Yes, align with so हम लोग दोनों साइड पे ये सब कुछ कर सकते हैं कि विद कैंडिडेट एंड कंपनी. सो कंपनी के लिए भी हम लोग, जो भी मैम ने भी पहले कहा, सर ने भी कहा है कि जो भी डेटा हम लोग प्रेजेंट करेंगे उससे हम लोग उनके साथ एज अ बिजनेस पार्टनर खुद को प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं. एंड अदर साइड विद कैंडिडेट एज अ नॉट अ कंसल्टेंट, वी आर बिकम अ कैटलिस्ट फॉर हिम एज अ पाथ फाइंडर फॉर फ्यूचर. ये सब कुछ हम लोग कैंडिडेट के साथ भी एंगेज रहने के लिए कर सकते हैं एंड कंपनी के लिए भी हम लोग अच्छे से प्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं.
I think for my location, Japan, and the APAC, the way we use AI is, and we are a fast adopter of AI within our company. We use various forms of AI in terms of screening and finding the opportunities. But what's more important is the human touch, the cultural aspect of understanding how the human touch that Fidel brings into it. That defines everything, because AI can help me screen, AI can help me get my process a bit faster, but if the human touch is missing, then AI for me is nothing. Because I always say this to my team, sitting in here across the country, is that we created AI. It's just a leverage tool that helps us to do something, does not replace us. And as far as Japan is concerned, human touch there is very, very important. I'm sure it's in India too, but from a cultural aspect, I can talk about Japan. They value human relationships a lot. So there, along with the AI, it's the human touch which is there, because they need that comfort. They feel that they want us to be a part of their emotional journey, both positive and negative. So that is something where, as Fidel, we deliver a lot of flexibility and cultural aspect matching with the AI to help our clients and candidates grow.
Like our CEO Ryan likes to say, AI is supposed to complement your workflow. It's not supposed to replace you, right? So very true. Could not agree more. And I want to share with you all a quick story. And we recently concluded our Mumbai event last week, and I shared this with the floor there as well. And I bring this up because you all spoke about cutting through the noise and coming across as people who are not just doing the job mechanically, but you're also being consultants.
Mhm.
So like for meet set, for example, whether that means challenging the customer, whether that means educating them on the role that they're trying to hire for. We've had a very similar experience. So we, about a year or two ago, we ran these roundtables with corporate house leaders across the country. So these could potentially be your customers too. And among the questions we asked them, how can our recruitment partners support you better? Which is all of you here in the room, right? Because we wanted to take some of that information and share it with our customers. And the one piece of feedback that we've heard across regions from leaders that you all potentially work with is that we don't want our recruiters to be, or recruiting consultants to be profile pushers. Right?
Absolutely.
We want them to be the consultants that they claim they are. Now that means exactly what Sandeep described a little while back. It could mean you're working on a role, you've gotten a mandate from your client which looks a tad bit unreasonable, right? And it also means that you're in a position to go back to your customer and say, hey, if this is a priority, this is what you're telling me to do, but this is how I think you need to run the search for that role. So immediately you're elevating your own role from a recruiter to the consultant that you say you are in the eyes of your client. That's what your clients want too. So for us, the purpose behind integrating talent insights with the recruiter license was to make sure that we're able to support you in achieving that goal, right? It gives you real-time talent intelligence on market movements across roles within industries. So that's the tool that they were referring to. That's the tool that Chakra covered and Nisha covered a little while back. Right?
And I think that's doing a fantastic job.
Awesome. Not sponsored, again. Not sponsored. All right. Couple questions around your experience with LinkedIn, since we've gotten there anyway, or have spoken about talent insights already. All of you use LinkedIn in very different ways, but from what I understand, it seems like it's become central to the way you operate. Where have you seen LinkedIn make the most impact for your business?
So I'll start with before we actually started using LinkedIn, right? We had a conference here itself, right? And I was not very keen, to be honest, because like rest of the people have a perception. So LinkedIn is only for passive candidates. It's not really for active candidates. However, I am in a position to tell you, no, it's not only for passive candidates. It's equally good for active candidates also. So that's one thing that's changed 180 degrees for me. The other part we've already discussed about the data insights. I am now keen to look forward to the business development part also, right? We've been kind of using it with little tweaks here and there already, right? But now it's a more structured thing that's come up, so looking forward to that also. Yeah.
Perfect.
So we have been using multiple licenses, and I think LinkedIn is one of the backbones when it comes to the operations for Japan. Though data is still not as freely available as it is in India for a country like Japan, but yes, it's the backbone. It helps us connect with quality candidates, helps us give an insight when we talk about using LinkedIn Insights, because that's something which all my team members use extensively. And of course, if I have to rate it on a scale of 10, I would rate it at 9 currently. Of course, all additions are welcome, provided there's no incremental cost involved. But it's a great tool to have. It's a really great tool to have for a market like Japan.
Amazing.
Earlier, we think LinkedIn as a social media platform. बट लास्ट ईयर जब हमने एक कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड की थी, महेश सर ने हमारा एक मिथ वहाँ पे क्रैक किया कि जो कैंडिडेट्स हमें लगता है ना कि लिंक्डइन से रिप्लाई जल्दी नहीं आते, तो महेश सर ने एक डेमो में हमें दिखाया था कि कैंडिडेट का रिप्लाई कितनी फास्ट आ सकता है. तो हमने वो ट्राई किया. इवन उसी सेम कॉन्फ्रेंस में मल्टीपल रिक्रूटर्स within 2 minutes they receive reply from candidates, and they schedule the interview also with panel within some minutes. सो हमने वो भी हमारे ऑफिस में ट्राई किया विथ लिंक्डइन सपोर्ट, उन्होंने काफ़ी सपोर्ट किया है। और जैसे जैसे हमारे रिक्रूटर उसको यूज़ करते गए, रिप्लाई आते गया, और फिर कॉन्फिडेंस भी बढ़ता गया। सो नाउ दे आर यूजिंग लिंक्डइन एज अ जस्ट रेगुलर वर्क।
I would just like to continue on this one. So, the biggest challenge is to make your recruiters use LinkedIn. That's the big, because they come with a mindset, you know, कि
Yes.
नहीं ये तो
Yes.
नहीं होता है, इससे तो नहीं होता है. So that is the biggest challenge, to break that mindset कि नहीं आप ये use करो, इससे होता है. And it's just a matter of time, you know, when they start seeing results, then you know they themselves
They
start
Absolutely.
using it. So,
Yes.
so that's, I think he's got a very important.
I think the word passive gets a bad rap. Most of us, by the way, are passive. Now, I've been with LinkedIn for what, I think 7.5 years now. I'm very happy doing what I do. Tomorrow, a recruiter from a company that I think is aspirational to me as a brand reaches out to me. Will I not respond? Of course I will. Sorry, Mahesh. I will, right? Now, that's me and pretty much everybody else, right? That's basic candidate behavior. Nobody is going to not have a conversation. Now I'm passive. Now if you go looking for me on a job board, I may have updated my job board profile 6, 7, 8 years ago. So no matter how strong your Boolean search string is, if recency is how the search results work, you're not going to find me anywhere. So if you don't know that I exist, how do you find me, right? Which is I think what our panelists have covered here. It's not just about finding the folks who are hitting that apply button day in, day out. It's also about reaching out to maybe people like me who may not be hitting that apply button, but are completely open to having a conversation if the opportunity is right. Right? So thanks a lot for bringing that up, and you'll bring us to a very important point, which is change management. Now I'm an account manager, and I work with recruiters across the recruitment and IT consulting industry, and a lot of times I've noticed that there seems to be some hesitation when it comes to embracing change, right? And I get it. I think it's the same workflow, the way they've run the searches all these years has worked for them. But suddenly we're seeing that what's worked so far is not working anymore. How have y'all driven that change management successfully within your teams?
So, I mean, I don't know if this goes for all, but we work on a very strong incentive program for our recruiters. So, just to break the ice, you know, you just incentivize more when you close a candidate from LinkedIn, and that's how you break the ice.
Align with him. We celebrate every closure from LinkedIn. We celebrate every closure from LinkedIn, and we give them a handsome amount for every closure also. So that's why a recruiter motivate and start using LinkedIn day by day, and now उनका रोज का ही काम हो चुका है। पहले लिंक्डइन पे जाते हैं और जो भी हमें लगता है ना कि वहाँ से नोटिस पीरियड व सर्व वाले कैंडिडेट नहीं मिलते, तो वो भी मिथ है, सब कुछ मिलता है।
So my story is different because my market is different. But coming to the way we work around at Fidel is, you know, it's more about training, marrying of the training with the understanding of the AI and keeping the human touch alive. And this is by leading the way. So as the head of the division, before I recommend something, I make sure that I have been a part of it, understand, so that it becomes easier for me to pass it down to my first level. And once they are trained, then it's more about recruiters not only understanding and valuing that their seniors have done it. In addition to that, there's some certification courses which at times LinkedIn brings up with, and so it's more of a personal milestone for them. That if you do this and if you're learning it, it's not only going to help us improve our profile, but also make our work faster. So it's a combination of multiple activities, and being trained with Xerox for almost 12-13 years, I can say learning every day. That's the key to adaptability and growing in the market that you are operating in.
Perfect. Yes.
I want to add one more point. LinkedIn इतना ATS फ्रेंडली है ना कि हमारे पास सबके पास ATS है, तो ATS में भी लिंक्डइन इतना फ्रेंडली होने से जो भी टाइम कंज्यूम होता है नियर अबाउट वो भी काफ़ी होता है 20 आवर्स जो उन्होंने कहा है मोर देन दैट। तो रिज्यूमे ऑलरेडी ATS में आता है तो उसका फिल्ट्रेशन उसकी डेटा एंट्री और उसके जो भी हम एक्सेल शीट में क्लाइंट के लिए हमें शेयर करना पड़ता है डेटा वो ऑलरेडी ATS फ्रेंडली होने से ईजी और भी हो जाता है।
Perfect. I want to, so you all covered change management beautifully, right? One is of course that you incentivize change. You make it exciting for your recruiters and your teams to try what's new.
Because of mindset change.
Absolutely, absolutely. I hope you've not gotten your recruiters here. They're paying.
I mean, this is something we should learn from Mr. Ambani. So, when he started Jio, I mean, it's a case study, right? That point of time, mobile number portability was already available, and people used to take mobile number as, they had a sense of pride. This is my personal mobile number. Come what may, I'm not changing it, right? No one even thought that, that someone might buy a new SIM card just for data. It was his vision, and he made sure that every Indian has 2 SIM cards in his mobile phone. So, and as he said, it's already there. You just need to incentivize. You have to push those people. Free data, everyone uses Jio now, irrespective of whatever they are, right? So, it all depends how and when you incentivize your recruiters, they start using whatever you tell them. And from a business perspective, anyways, whatever incentives you are sharing to your recruiters, you will be definitely, I mean, this is my personal recommendation, you will definitely be saving a lot more on other job portals which are already charging us a bomb, right? So we reduce the dependency on those job portals by using LinkedIn, and whatever we are saving, let's just share it with the recruiters.
Perfect. Ritesh brought up a very important point as well. It's also leading by example, right? You'll expect your recruiters to make all the changes. How many of you are embracing that change yourself? Because your teams are looking up to you, right, as leaders. And so what Ritesh said is also a very critical aspect there of driving successful change management. You need to lead by example first, and only then can you expect your teams to follow. So thank you for your tips. I've got one last question, and then we will close the fireside. All three of you mentioned talent insights in different capacities. Would love to hear what your use cases, your respective use cases for talent insights are. Some tips for the audience in the room here.
I think हम लोग जो क्लाइंट के साथ डिस्कस करते हैं कि उसके ऊपर हम काफ़ी वर्क कर सकते हैं टैलेंट इनसाइट्स के बेस के ऊपर, क्योंकि हमारे पास टेबल की उस साइड में हम जान सकते हैं जो कि हमारे पास नहीं रहता है। टैलेंट इनसाइट की वजह से हम टेबल की उस साइड जब हम जानते हैं तो हम लोग जब मैनेजर्स के साथ टीए लीड के साथ जब डिस्कस करते हैं तो उनका जो वीक पॉइंट है उसके ऊपर डायरेक्ट हिट कर सकते हैं।
I think the way my recruiters use talent site is basically finding the right set of candidates faster, including the demographic part in terms of age and stuff, creating a talent pool depending on the job that they are searching for, so that at any given time, since we work with multiple clients which are Japanese-based multinationals or companies who want to operate in Japan, and we are specifically into IT, it gives us a faster turnaround time in terms of finding the right candidate, and that is something which most of my teammates have mastered it, and thanks to LinkedIn, it's a great tool, helps us a lot. I'm sure people who are using it, they would agree to whatever I'm saying.
Perfect. Sandeep.
Yeah, I think we've already covered that. Talent insights give us a next level of confidence when we speak to the clients, and we are able to portray, we're not forcing our picture, we are able to portray our picture in a better way to them, help them understand, and this is the other side of the story, and I think most of the time they are convinced to.
Perfect. I think it really comes down to how do you cut through the noise. There's you and there's 20 other competitors out there, right? Going after the same set of clients, the same set of candidates. So how you ensure you're standing apart is what will probably make all the difference. And think about it. Talent Insights is sitting on a data set of 1.2 billion people. When you want to pull out a report like that, what do you typically do? People go out, reach out to consulting companies, they go out in the market, try and collect data, put it together in the form of a report, and share that with you. Typically, that takes 3 weeks to about a month. And even after you get hold of that report, how big can that data set be? How many people can they speak with? 50,000, a lakh, 2 lakhs. This is real-time data sitting on top of 1.2 billion people that refreshes once every 24 hours. Right? It's once every 24 hours, which means it's as real-time as it can possibly get. So if any of you in the room already use Talent Insights or have the recruiter license, please make sure to spend some time playing around with the Talent Insights tool. It can potentially be a game changer for your recruitment workflow. All right, any final tips for the audience in the room? They're all leaders running recruitment businesses just like yourselves.
I would like to learn from the leaders sitting here. I don't want to be, be considered the person who knows everything. But one of the things which I tell to everybody, my team across regions is think global, act local. At Fidel, the reason we say we think global and act local is because 99% of my team members don't know how to speak in Japanese. But 100% of the jobs that we close are with Japanese companies and Japanese nationals.
Brilliant.
So you have to think local, you have to act global, marry the stuff in terms of getting the right talent, presenting the picture in a way that the client and the candidate both understand, and take it forward. That's the only piece of advice that, not an advisor, piece of learning that I have over the years I can share with you.
सब लोग सीनियर हैं मेरे से भी
जापान के हिसाब से मैं सीनियर
बट आई थिंक जो हमारा एक पेन एरिया है कि रिक्रूटर्स क्लिक करते हैं और अदर देन लिंक्डइन एवरी जॉब पोर्टल्स नीड टू पे हमारे पास लिमिटेड क्लिक्स है, लिमिटेड व्यूज है. लिंक्डइन के पास वो अनलिमिटेड है. वी कैन यूज अनलिमिटेडली. We can see every resume. Recruiters भी उतना freedomly सब कुछ open कर सकता है. तो एक बार हम उनको LinkedIn use करने के लिए अगर देते हैं ना, तो he can do miracles.
I would say, my learnings from all these years of experience is that adaptability is the key to success. Maybe 10 years before, LinkedIn was not that in picture in India, but the soon you adapt to new changes, the sooner it is better for you to thrive in the market. So adaptability is the key to success.
Thank you so much. My favorite line of this conversation was Anand sir saying LinkedIn पे सब मिलता है. Tagline over the line. But I love the conversation. It's always a learning experience having leaders such as yourselves come here and share your learnings with us, share your experience with us. And for everyone in the room here, the takeaway is clear. Your peers are already embracing the change, and I think it's about time that we all start to think when we will make that move, right? But that's about it from me and our panelists on the fireside chat. We will now open it up for questions. We have Mahesh here, we have Anup, Vinay, Chakra, and we have, of course, our panelists. So any of you have any questions for us, please let us know and we will bring the mic to you.